A very good morning, dear students. Welcome to e-learning classes of Sacred Hearts in the lecture of Business Studies. In the previous lecture, that was before exams, we have completed our ninth chapter, and that was the financial management. Today, we are going to start our 10th chapter, that is financial market. So, dear students, if we talk about the financial market, about the theme of the chapter, so this is the chapter about the market from where we can arrange the finance. This is the theme of the chapter. Let us start the chapter in the brief. The very first topic, that is the concept and nature of financial market. So, dear students, financial market is the link between savers and borrowers. Savers who used to save the money, borrowers who are in the need of the money. Further, this market transfers the money for capital from those who have surplus money to those who are in the need of investment. Whosoever particular person is having the surplus money, the money is transferred from that particular person to those particular parties or to those particular person who are in the need of the investment. जनरली द इन्वेस्टर्स आर नोन एज सरप्लस यूनिट. जो इन्वेस्टर्स होते हैं उनको हम लोग सरप्लस यूनिट बोलते हैं. वाई? बिकॉज दे आर हैविंग एक्स्ट्रा मनी, दैट इज़ वाई दे आर एबल टू इन्वेस्ट द मनी. एंड द बिजनेस एंटरप्राइजेज आर कॉल्ड द डेफिसिट यूनिट. बिजनेस एंटरप्राइजेज को हमेशा फाइनेंस की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है, इन्वेस्टमेंट की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है. दैट इज़ वाई वी आर सेइंग दैम डेफिसिट यूनिट्स. See further, if we talk about the financial functions of financial market, so what are the different functions that have been executed by the financial market? So we will discuss a lot of functions over here. The very first function, that is the mobilization of saving and channelizing them into the most productive uses. The first function is the combination of two functions. Mobilization of saving, that means moving of the saving from the particular person with whom it is still left idle. ऐसे particular person से उस amount को mobilize करना, move करना जिनके पास वो idle पड़ी हुई है, that means rest में पड़ी हुई है. And channelizing them into the most productive uses, and उसको वहाँ तक particular circulate करना where it is required for the maximum productive uses. See, in this, financial markets act as a link between savers and investors. It is a link, that means a bridge sort of. Financial markets transfer saving of savers to the most appropriate investment opportunities. And what does the financial market used to do? It used to invest the money of the people in the best opportunities from which they can increase the value of their investment, from which they can get the benefit. Because if they will keep the money with themselves, there is no benefit, because the money will the value of money will not increase. But if the same amount of money will be channelized and will be invested in some of the productive purpose, obviously the value of the money or the value or the amount will increases. See the second one, facilitate price discovery. And how the prices are determined by the market forces. And what are the market forces, the students? Demand and supply factors are the market forces which always helps in the determination of any of the commodity, any of the service, or the financial securities. See, demand and supply of financial assets and securities in the financial market help in deciding the price of various financial securities. If the demand will be high and the supply is less, obviously the price will be high. If the demand is less and supply is more, in that condition prices will be the low one. So it also facilitate the price discovery of the financial security. जो financial securities हैं उनकी price क्या होगी, इसका determination भी कहाँ होता है बेटा? financial market में होता है. The third one, provide liquidity to financial assets. So if we talk about the financial market, so what it used to do, in the financial market we can purchase and sell out the financial security. So somewhere somehow we are able to convert the securities into the cash, and that is why they used to provide us liquidity. What is liquidity? Liquidity means, that means conversion into the cash. So if I've purchased the securities, so I can sell out the securities in the financial market, so I can convert that security again in the cash. So it is the liquidity function of the financial market. The next and the last one, reduce the cost of transaction. Financial market provides complete information regarding availability and the cost of various financial securities, है ना, क्या प्राइस अवेलेबिलिटी है कि कितनी सिक्योरिटीज़ अवेलेबल हैं, एवरी इंफॉर्मेशन इज प्रोवाइडेड बाय द financial market. So invest companies do not have to spend much on getting this information. If it is not provided by the financial market, obviously you have to fetch up the information from somewhere, and if you will fetch up the information from somewhere, you have to hire some particular person, some particular agency, that will require the cost. So as the financial market used to provide all these information, so somewhere somehow you are not needed to make some extra expenditures on this, and that is why it helps in reducing the cost of transaction. With the least amount of cost, you can execute the buying and selling in the financial market. So these all are the functions. Four functions we have seen. The first one, mobilization of saving and channelizing into them the most productive uses. Second, facilitate price discovery. Third, provide liquidity to financial market. Fourth and last, reduce the cost of transaction. Now, the next topic, that is the classification of financial market. What is the financial market that we have seen? The function of the financial market we have seen. Now, what is the classification or the different parts of the financial market? So, dear students, you can see in the flow chart that the financial market is having two segments. The first one is the capital market and the second one is the money market. If we talk about the capital market, then in the capital market there are two markets, the primary market and the secondary market, and the money market is the market for the short term. So we will discuss them one by one. So very first we are going to start about the money market. So what is money market? It is a market for short term funds meant for used for a period of up to 1 year. That means all those financial securities which are having the time period of up to 1 year are treated, are purchased, are sold out in the money market. Generally, money market is a source of finance for working capital. Generally, the company used to have the money access to money market for arranging the working capital. See further, transactions of money market include lending and borrowing of cash for a short period of time, and also sale and purchase of securities having 1 year term. That means it is a very short period of time for which we can execute the transaction, that is the 1 year. See the features of the money market. The very first, money market is short term, that we have seen, it is up to only 1 year. Second, no geographical location. For example, the market of Bareilly. So obviously if we are saying about the market of Bareilly, obviously it is confined to the Bareilly only, है ना. So it is having a fixed geographical area. जैसे if I say about बड़ा बाजार, तो it is having a fixed geographical area. But if we talk about the money market, so money market doesn't have any geographical location. इसकी कोई भी fixed geographical location नहीं होती है. It can be traded all over the particular region, all over the particular world. Third, कॉमन इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स ऑफ मनी मार्केट आर, इसमें जो कॉमन इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स इसके पार्ट्स हैं वो क्या है? कॉल मनी है, ट्रेजरी बिल्स हैं, सीपी दैट इज़ द कमर्शियल पेपर, सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ डिपॉजिट एक्सेट्रा. देयर आफ्टर, major institutes involved in money market are RBI, कमर्शियल बैंक्स, LIC, GIC, ETC. जो मेजर इंस्टीट्यूट्स इसमें डील करते हैं मनी मार्केट में, उसके नेम बता रहा है बेटा, रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, LIC, GIC एंड द कमर्शियल बैंक्स. So all these are the features of the money market. Now we will discuss about the instruments of money market or the parts of money market. The very first instrument of the money market is the call money. The money borrowed or lent on demand for a short period which is generally 1 day in which holidays are excluded. अगर हम लोग कॉल मनी की बात करें, so it is the money that is arranged for a very very short period of time. Generally it is the 1 day and in which all the holidays are excluded. It is the call money. So if you further talk about the call money, see the some of the features are there. By the features it will be more clear about the call money. द फर्स्ट, मोस्टली बैंक्स यूज़ कॉल मनी. जो जनरली जो बैंक्स होते हैं वो कॉल मनी यूज़ करते हैं. सेकेंड, कॉल मनी इज़ कॉल्ड इंटर बैंक कॉल मनी एज द बैंक यूज जनरली यूज दिस, दैट इज़ वाई इट्स नेम इज़ इंटर बैंक कॉल मनी market. The third, it is a market over the telephone. All the transaction execute over here on the form of telephone, on the telephonic conversation. Next, the maturity period of call money are extremely short and varies from 1 day to 15 days. Generally, it is for the 1 day or the couple of days, but the maximum time limit is 15 days. Next, its liquidity is just next to cash. That means just after cash, the highly liquid asset is the call money because it is having the maturity of maximum 15 days, or generally it is 1 or 2 only working days. Last, the interest paid on the call money is called कॉल रेट. जो आप इंटरेस्ट पे करते हैं इस पर, उसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं बेटा? कॉल रेट बोलते हैं. सो दिस इज अबाउट द वेरी फर्स्ट इंस्ट्रूमेंट, दैट इज कॉल मनी. नाउ द सेकेंड वन, दैट इज द ट्रेजरी बिल्स, ऑल्सो नोन एज टी बिल्स. Treasury bills are issued by the Reserve Bank of India on behalf of the Government of India. These are the certain securities or the bills that are issued by the Reserve Bank of India but on the behalf of the Government of India. Further, these bills enable government to get short-term borrowings as these bills are sold to bank and general public. Generally, these bills provide government the short-term finance that will be reimbursed within a particular time period. See the features of the treasury bills. The first one, these bills are negotiable instruments and are freely transferable. That means the particular instruments can be purchased by any of the particular person, and whenever the particular person is not in the need of the cash, the particular person can transfer it to someone else. Whosoever will have this can reimburse the amount from the government. So these are freely transferable. There is no amount of legal formalities that is to be accomplished in the treasury bill for the transferring from one particular person to the another particular person. Second one, these are issued at a discount. For example, if these securities of 100 rupees, so they are issued on discount, that means less than 100 rupees, it can be 80 rupees, 70 rupees, 75 rupees, 90 rupees and so on. Next, these are the safest investment as these are issued by the Reserve Bank of India on the behalf of government, and both are the very prestigious institutions in our country. Next, the maturity period of treasury bill varies from 14 days to 364 days. Minimum time period is 14 days and the maximum time period is the 364 days. नेक्स्ट, दीज आर ऑल्सो नोन एज ज़ीरो कूपन बॉन्ड्स. इसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? इनका जो सिनोनिम हम बोल सकते हैं वो क्या है? ज़ीरो कूपन बॉन्ड्स है. एंड द लास्ट, दीज आर अवेलेबल फॉर द मिनिमम अमाउंट ऑफ ₹25,000. अगर आपको ट्रेजरी बिल्स परचेज करने हैं सो मिनिमम यू हैव टू डिपॉजिट ₹25,000 एंड देन फर्दर इन द मल्टीपल्स ऑफ 25,000, दैट मीन्स 25,000, अगर इससे ज़्यादा मे बी 50,000 और 75,000, but it must be in the multiples of 25,000. Now the third one, that is the commercial bills. Commercial bills are also known as trade bills or the accommodation bills. These are the bills drawn by one business firm on the another. जब one particular जो business firm होती है दूसरी particular business firm पे जो bills को issue करती है, आप लोगों ने bills of exchange पढ़ा होगा. Those are the commercial bills. ठीक है. These are the common instruments used in the credit purchase and sale. Whenever the goods are sold and purchased in the credit, then the commercial bills are required. See the features of the commercial bills. These bills have maturity period of 90 days and can be discounted with bank even before the maturity period. The maturity period is 90 days and in the 90 days you can draw the amount, you can have the amount from the particular person. But if you want to have the money before that, then you can discount it through the bank. आप बैंक जाके उसको डिस्काउंट करवा सकते हैं. नेक्स्ट, these are the negotiable instruments and can be easily transferred. इनको हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं? easily one particular person से दूसरे particular person क्या कर सकते हैं? transfer कर सकते हैं. The drawee of the bill honors the bill on the due date. On the due date क्या होगा? जो certain amount है वो आप reimburse करने के लिए क्या हो जाएंगे? rightful person हो जाएंगे from the particular person. These are the features of the commercial bill. Now the next one is the commercial paper, also known as CP. The commercial paper was introduced in India for first time in 1990. तो इंडिया में जो फर्स्ट कमर्शियल पेपर इशू हुआ है वो कब हुआ है? 1990 में. It is an unsecured promissory note issued by the public or the private sector companies with a fixed maturity period which varies from 15 days to 1 year. सबसे पहली बात जो इसने इम्पोर्टेंट बताई, initiated in 1990. And the second thing, it is unsecured promissory note. That means the promissory note, whatever is issued, in return of that there is no security, no asset is mortgaged, and the maturity period varies from 15 days to 1 year. See the further features of the commercial paper. The first, can be issued by companies having good reputation and credit worthiness. As these are unsecured, ये unsecured हैं, in return आपको कोई asset mortgage में नहीं मिल रही है, तो obviously only those company can have this, only those company used to issue this who are having very good reputation in the market. Second, the commercial banks and mutual funds are the main investors of the commercial paper. इसके जो main investors हैं वो कौन कौन हैं? Commercial banks हैं और mutual funds हैं. Next, funds raised through commercial paper are used to meet the flotation cost. Generally यहाँ से जितनी भी money जनरेट होती है, कलेक्ट होती है, दैट इज़ यूज फॉर द फ्लोटेशन कॉस्ट. व्हाट इज़ फ्लोटेशन कॉस्ट? द कॉस्ट दैट इज़ टू बी इनकर्ड फॉर द इशू ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल सिक्योरिटीज़. फाइनेंशियल सिक्योरिटीज़ आपके शेयर्स हो गए, डिबेंचर्स हो गए, है ना, इनको आपको इशू करने के लिए भी कुछ सर्टेन कॉस्ट इनकर करनी पड़ती है, दैट इज़ नोन एज फ्लोटेशन कॉस्ट. सो फ्लोटेशन कॉस्ट का एक सोर्स कौन सा? हमारा कमर्शियल पेपर है, एंड दैट इज़ वाई दिस इज़ नोन एज ब्रिज फाइनेंसिंग. until unless you will not have these expenses, stamp expenditure, है ना, until unless you are not having the underwriter expenses, the commissions, तो आप तब तक shares और debentures को issue नहीं कर सकते. that means तब तक आपके पास पैसा नहीं आ सकता. so this is the amount that you have to incur for having the finance from the for the long term. तो this is a bridge financing. bridge मतलब एक पुल बन गया, एक क्या बन गया? सपोर्ट बन गया. next, the main purpose of issuing commercial paper are, there are two main motives. the first, meeting of the flotation cost, अगर flotation cost को fulfill करने के लिए, and for the fulfillment of the short term requirement for the working capital requirement. in the last one, that is the certificate of deposits, that is known as CD. it is a deposit which can be sold in the secondary market. this is the only particular financial security that is issued in the money market and can be sold out in the secondary market. ठीक है, only a bank can issue the certificate of deposit. and who can issue this? a bank, commercial bank can issue the certificate of deposit. it is a bearer certificate, all document of title. ठीक है, ये कैसा है? हमारा bearer certificate होता है. ठीक, अब अगर हम लोग फर्दर बात करें, bearer certificate का मतलब that means whosoever particular is having, that will be meant as the owner of the particular certificate. now if we talk about the features of the certificate of deposit, the very first, it is a negotiable instrument and can be easily transferable. we have discussed this point very times. now we are coming to the next one. it is issued by banks against the deposits kept by companies and institutions. whatever the amount have been deposited by the companies and institution, it is a certification of that this much of amount is deposited with the particular bank. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट, द टाइम पीरियड रेंजेस फ्रॉम 91 days to 1 year. और जो उसकी मेचोरिटी पीरियड है वो कितना होता है? 91 days to 1 year होता है. इन द लास्ट, दीज कैन बी इश्यूड टू इंडिविजुअल्स, corporations and companies during the period of tight liquidity when deposit growth of bank is slow but demand for the credit is high. generally इसको हम लोग इसको issue करते हैं when the market is very comparatively, liquidity is very tight, that means very less liquidity is there, and to increase the growth rate of the banks and the financial market, then they can be issued. so this is all about today. Dear students, today we have discussed about the introduction of financial market, thereafter functions of financial market, and the first element we have discussed of the financial market, that is the money market. in this we have discussed about the different instruments of money market, that is call money, that is treasury bills, commercial paper, and the last but not the least, that is a certificate of deposit. this is all about today. god bless you all.